What if I told you that the difference between a millionaire and an average person is not intelligence, luck, or a high salary, but one small habit repeated every day? Most people believe millionaires are born with advantages. Some think they have better jobs, better connections, or more talent. But researchers who studied self-made millionaires discovered something surprising. The biggest difference was not how much money they earned, it was what they did consistently with small amounts of money. A habit so simple that almost anyone can start today, yet most people ignore it for years. And by the end of this video, you'll see why this one habit quietly creates millionaires while others stay financially stuck. Let's imagine two friends, Billy and Jack. Same age, same city, same salary, and the same starting point in life. Every month, both of them receive the exact same paycheck. But one small decision changes everything. Before Billy spends a single dollar, he pays himself first. He automatically invests 10% of every paycheck. Not because he is rich, but because he wants to become rich. Meanwhile, Jack spends first and saves whatever is left. Most months, almost nothing is left. At first, their lives look exactly the same. The difference is invisible. 1 year passes. Billy's investments are still small, but something important has started. At first, the growth is almost impossible to notice. That's why most people quit too early. They expect huge results from small effort. But wealth follows a completely different timeline. Year 2 arrives. Billy's account is growing, even while he sleeps, because his money has started working for him. Meanwhile, Jack is still trading time for money. Every dollar Billy invested is now producing tiny new dollars, and those new dollars start producing even more dollars. This is the moment compounding quietly begins, and almost nobody around him notices it yet. Billy is still investing 10% of every paycheck. Nothing dramatic has happened. His friends don't think he is doing anything special. Jack feels smarter because he enjoys more of his money today. And honestly, for a while, he seems right, because compounding is invisible before it becomes obvious. Then year 5 arrives. Billy's investments are now noticeably larger, not because he invested more money, but because his old money started creating new money. This is where the habit starts changing his future. For the first time, Jack notices a difference. Billy did not get lucky. He did not earn a massive salary. He simply repeated the same habit every month after month, year after year. Most people underestimate what 10 years can do because they focus on what happens today. Millionaires focus on what happens later. That is the power of thinking long-term. The habit never became easier. Billy simply became the kind of person who never stopped. 10 years later, Billy's small monthly investments have grown into a surprisingly large amount of wealth. The money he invested years ago is now growing faster than ever before. For the first time, Jack realizes that time was the most valuable asset. The biggest advantage was never money itself. It was starting earlier and staying consistent. Most people wait for the perfect opportunity, while wealth rewards consistent action. Small actions repeated thousands of times can completely transform a person's future. The habit looked ordinary every day, but extraordinary across an entire decade. Jack finally understands that success is usually built slowly before it becomes visible. The millionaire habit was never complicated. It was simply repeated without stopping. What seemed small in the beginning became powerful because time multiplied every effort. And that is how one small habit quietly creates millionaires over time. If one small habit could completely change your future, would you start today or wait another year? Years later, Billy no longer worries about every paycheck because his investments help support him. His money now generates opportunities that his salary alone could never create. The habit that once felt small has become one of the biggest advantages in his life. Most people never fail because they start late. They fail because they stop too soon. Every wealthy person understands that consistency matters far more than motivation. Motivation disappears, but habits continue working long after emotions are gone. That is why small daily actions often beat big plans that never happen. The future Billy wanted was created by choices that seemed boring at first. The secret was never intelligence, income, or luck. It was simply patience. And patience becomes powerful when it is combined with consistent action for many years. The question was never whether the habit worked, only whether he would continue. So, if one small habit could completely transform your future, what are you waiting for today?